Rebecca Lobo. Rebecca Lobo this past Sunday, Indiana Fever versus Dallas Wings on ESPN. When it comes to announcers speaking out, this might have been the most outspoken announcers have been when it comes to the egregious officiating, but more importantly, the non-calls. When Caitlin Clark is getting grabbed, getting held, getting yanked, getting hugged, getting hacked. Rebecca Lobo said, okay, Sunday, July 13th, I'm going to make sure it's my mission that when I start calling this game, I start calling a spade and holding these referees to the fire.
The WNBA is entering a critical moment, and the cracks are starting to show in ways that can no longer be brushed aside. What used to be a league focus on growing the game and building a loyal fan base is now being overshadowed by growing tension on and off the court. Emotional outbursts from players, internal drama, and a noticeable drop in fan engagement have raised serious concerns. More and more, it feels like the league is drifting from its roots, trading focus, teamwork, and growth for headlines, social media drama, and controversy. Fans who once filled arenas are quietly disappearing, and it seems like no one at the top is hitting the brakes or offering real solutions. The line between professional basketball and reality TV-style chaos is starting to blur. And if things keep going this way, the league may end up damaging its own reputation beyond repair. In this video, we're taking a deep dive into how the WNBA, without meaning to, could be setting itself up for failure, and why it matters now more than ever.
And finally, they're saying the quiet part out loud. It's a little bit hard to see. She's literally grabbing her arm. It's insane, and none of that was called. Finally, at the end of the one play, they called the foul because it was like indisputable. I mean, she got whacked on the arm and then gets hit to the ground. But they weren't going to call any of the other fouls leading up to it. I mean, this is what Caitlin Clark...
Some of these WNBA players are acting like they're the Avengers, here to save the world one game at a time. But in reality, what we're watching feels more like a poorly written soap opera with sneakers and a few sponsorship deals thrown in. The shift in tone has been hard to miss. Somewhere along the way, being likable, relatable, and marketable got tossed aside and replaced with constant complaints, drama, and a sense of entitlement that's hard to ignore. What used to be about teamwork, growth, and elevating the women's game has taken a sharp turn into something that feels disconnected from fans, and even the sport itself. What's more troubling is that the WNBA Players Association seems to be not only okay with this shift, they're leaning into it. Instead of encouraging professionalism and building a stronger connection with fans, they're backing behavior and doubling down on the new image. And while this might stir up headlines, it's doing little to grow the game or bring in the long-term support the league desperately needs.
Yo, straight calling them out, man. Straight calling them out. And I expected it, because they are straightforward and they speak highly of Caitlin. So when they see the nonsense, man, of course they're going to say something. And I believe most of the commentators should be like that, man. Just keep it real, fam. Keep it real. Call it how you see it. And, whether the WNBA likes it or not, the commissioner likes it or not, Kathy likes it or not, speak your mind, man. That's what people want. They want the truth. So, man, shout out to Ruocco, man. Shout out to Ruocco. Shout out to Rebecca Lobo calling it like
get fouled. It's part of any physical, high-level sport. But when Caitlin Clark gets fouled, it's something else entirely. There's an almost theatrical quality to it, like it's not just contact, but a performance. A spectacle. And not in a good way. She's not just bumped or blocked. She's manhandled. Pushed, shoved, dragged, sometimes straight to the floor, and somehow no one in stripes seems to notice. The fans react instantly. You can hear the collective gasps from the crowd the moment it happens. The players on the floor flinch. Even the commentators can't help but call it out mid-broadcast, their voices filled with disbelief. But the referees? Stone-faced, silent, chewing their invisible gum and staring into the distance like they're watching an entirely different game. At times, it looks like Caitlin's being dragged up and down the court like she's in trouble with a schoolyard bully, not competing in a professional basketball league. It's not just contact, it's physical punishment. And it's happening game after game, in front of packed arenas, national TV audiences, and league officials who, somehow, have nothing to say about it. It's gotten so bizarre that fans are half joking, half serious when they ask if Caitlin Clark is playing by a different set of rules. Is there a new WNBA policy that says you can body slam her as long as she keeps dribbling? Because from the way the refs are ignoring it, you'd think they're officiating a completely different sport, maybe underwater polo or dodgeball, because whatever they're seeing, it sure isn't basketball as the rest of us know it. And the longer it continues, the clearer the message becomes. For reasons no one's officially explaining, Caitlin Clark isn't getting the same protection other players do. And that's not just bad officiating. It's a problem that's damaging the game, the league, and the trust of the fans who see exactly what's going on.
The new man, Ryan Ruocco, Mr. You Bet himself, and Rebecca Lobo ended up bringing up how players have been getting away with fouling Caitlin Clark live on right here. They're talking about this right here where JJ was holding the arm. Okay. Then they're talking about this moment right here too, right? She's reaching through the body, reaching both sides, both arms through the body right here. So they're talking about this one. They're talking about right here on the swat down. It looked like she hit her hand just a tad bit.
And here's the wildest part. It's not just happening in the paint, where physical play is expected. No, that would actually make some kind of sense. This isn't just about contact near the rim or aggressive defense in the final few feet to the basket. Caitlin Clark is getting hit the moment she touches the ball. Asterisk from the very inbound pass star. It's like the second she has possession, it's open season. She's being bumped, grabbed, shoved, and harassed all the way down the court. We're not talking about isolated moments here. This is a full court gauntlet, a 94-foot obstacle course, where the real challenge isn't the opposing team. It's surviving wave after wave of contact without a single whistle in sight. Forget battling for position in the paint. She's fighting for space just to breathe, step by step, while the officials seem completely unbothered. It's as if the rules of the game stop applying whenever she's on the floor. Basic physics go ignored. Clear fouls are shrugged off, and the refs act like their whistles are stuck in some kind of deep freeze. At this point, it's hard not to ask, is the officiating just blind to what's happening? Or are they actively choosing to let it slide? Because the only thing more consistent than the physicality Caitlin faces is the silence from those meant to protect the integrity of the game.
It's crazy how Caitlin Clark does not get her foul calls pointed out when they are actually fouling her left and right, all the way from half court all the way down to the basketball hoop. I don't understand how the referees are standing there and they not call the fouls. Her coaches have complained. Even Caitlin Clark gets on the referees of not calling the fouls when she knows there's fouls.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is just out here trying to play basketball, plain and simple. But instead of being allowed to focus on her game, she's being pulled into the WNBA's ongoing emotional tug-of-war. She's taking elbows on the court, getting the cold shoulder off it, surrounded by nonstop media attention. And now people expect her to get involved in collective bargaining talks? Absolutely not. Caitlin, don't even go near that table. That negotiation room isn't about improving policies. It's more like a Real Housewives reunion, just with sneakers and union reps. The atmosphere is toxic. Personal agendas are driving the conversation, not progress. It's filled with tension, jealousy, and a bizarre obsession with tearing down anyone who gains a little too much spotlight. Imagine sitting at a table with players who see every bit of someone else's success as a personal threat. Every jersey not featuring their name feels like a slight. Some of them show up to media day acting like they're at war, carrying grudges, reading into every compliment, and always ready to light up a group chat over imagined insults. Caitlin doesn't need that chaos. She should be enjoying her rookie season, learning the game, building her career, not walking into a storm of ego battles and petty drama. And let's not pretend the union is some well-oiled machine. Even the president of the Players Association can't seem to manage peace in her own locker room. The behind-the-scenes drama makes reality TV look tame. We're talking constant arguments, passive-aggressive jabs, and unresolved tensions bubbling just under the surface. It's honestly a miracle that basketball even gets played amid all the dysfunction. If this is what the inner workings of the league look like, It's no wonder the future stars are being pushed away before they even get a real chance to shine.
You think the old guard, you think the old 46,000 fans had enough of a voice? No, they don't got no voice. The new fans need to speak up. The announcers who aren't scared need to speak up. I'm sure a lot of those old announcers are scared. I'm sure they're scared. But the announcers like Rebecca Lobo, Orion Ruocco, they need to step up and say, oh, the officiating that's going on here isn't okay. You guys watch this. Quinterly grab Caitlin Clark's arm. Like, Caitlin, where you going? Get over here. Oh, that's interesting. Why play defense when we can just grab somebody's arm, right? Interesting. Quinterly putting her hands around Caitlin Clark's waist. Valentine's Day was a few months ago. Sorry.
When the leader of your movement is openly feuding with her own teammates, maybe it's time to take a hard look at what the movement has become. Because this doesn't look like unity. It looks like chaos. The public message isn't one of strength or solidarity. It's more like, we can't even manage a group text without it turning into a disaster. The level of self-delusion on display is honestly impressive. You've got players averaging 6 points a game acting like they're leading some grand revolution. Refusing to shake Caitlin Clark's hand isn't courageous, it's petty. Treating the league's most talked about player with hostility doesn't earn respect. It earns mockery, memes, and growing public backlash. If the plan was to turn fans off and make people root against you, well, mission accomplished. And while all this is unfolding, you could imagine the league's front office quietly panicking, watching attendance and viewership dip like a shaky Jenga tower mid-collapse. Corporate sponsors aren't paying for drama. They're paying for results, visibility, and engagement. But instead of highlight reels and growth, they're getting viral temper tantrums and endless social media outrage cycles. Fans didn't sign up for lectures and infighting. They signed up for basketball. Yet somehow, the Players Association thinks they're untouchable. They believe people will keep showing up no matter what. That hashtags hold the same weight as performance on the court. It's like watching someone set their own house on fire and then expect a standing ovation for it. And through it all, they keep targeting Caitlin Clark, as if she isn't the one player actually moving the needle, pulling in ratings, generating buzz, and giving people a reason to care. Without her, this league would be in an even deeper hole. Instead of supporting the momentum she brings, they're tearing it down one bitter move at a time.